Hello, kit heads. We are talking kit. We are back with some live content. It's been a week or so since Full Kit Rankers ended, but we're back with our monthly show in collaboration with another NI Classic Shirt Co. Obviously, Ryan, friend of the channel, for Get to Know. If you didn't see the first one, go and check it out after this show. But yeah, it's our monthly show where we sit down with a shirt collector and a shirt seller, and we just get to know them a little bit better, have a conversation, find out where the passion started, why they got into what they do, why they collect what they collect. And yeah, we just have them good conversations. It's nice to see you, Ryan. Thanks for joining us again, mate.
You too, mate. Thank you very much for finding time in life really to do it, apart from anything else, So, and no, I'm excited. I'm excited to speak to the boys here to see what stories they have for us, So
yeah,
and I appreciate people sticking with us. Life got in the way before and we had to delay, but we're here now, and this should be a good one,
That's it, mate. Yeah, 100%. One of the guests has been desperate to get on for a little bit, so I know it'll be good to speak to him about it, about his shirts and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm excited, mate. Like I say, it's never too much to fit this in, mate, because this is our passion. This is what we, other than actual football, this is what we live for, mate, pretty much. So, of course, I'm excited and I'm looking forward to another great episode. But everything been well with yourself?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, busy enough in the shop, thankfully. Actually got a delivery today of stuff and scoping through it and going through it, this, that, and the other, and got what I think is maybe a match issue or match worn Bruno Fernandes Udinese shirt. So popped it up on Twitter because the experts are there, they'll figure it out, you know what I mean? So I could ask some questions and stuff, and as much as I think I know, there's a wealth of knowledge there, so it'd be silly to try and rattle my own brain when I can rattle theirs too, so which is kind of what we're talking about here, the community, the kid community, so just to mention that's a good example of them coming to help you out, I'm speaking to people in like Italy, I'm speaking to people all over the place, from a photo of a football shirt, so it's really cool that way, and obviously it's an extension of that,
Ah, great stuff. I don't know if you saw on Twitter, I think it was last night, he put it on. Sean has been smashing it in the charity shops recently.
Yeah.
Do you see the Sheffield Wednesday 90 to
92? I wasn't actually, for once I wasn't on the phone last night. Mate, I can't remember. I think it was on my mum's or something, just I wasn't really looking, but I'll get a chance to catch up.
Yeah, so it's the green and white stripes. Sheffield Wednesday away shirt from 1992. Genuine. He bought it for £5, mate. £5.
That's unbelievable.
Certain sites are selling it for 200. Not that he'll get that for it, but he said he messaged before saying his DMs are going mad. I think.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Wait, I mean, I couldn't believe it when he put it in the group. It was like, mate, if that's genuine, you've absolutely smashed it there. And he found a 2002 Brazil away shirt as well.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm jealous of that, as you can imagine.
Yeah. That's the free kick one, isn't it? The Ronaldinho free kick one.
Yeah. That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So he's doing all right. Obviously, we've not been doing any shows for him to talk about it, but I imagine he will soon.
I haven't found anything in ages.
Hey, I've given up. I've given up doing it. I just can't find anything. But yeah, he's doing well. I'm sure if you want to go and follow anyone, it's at GK Sean on Twitter. He posts up what he finds in charity shops. As he says, no eBay for him, and he don't really need it for the stuff he's finding at the moment. Which I'm trying to arrange. Like, we'll do a video where we'll go out, the three of us, and look in charity shops. He's stalling, and I think he's stalling for a reason, because he's like, I want it all to myself. I'm not taking you to my hotspot. So
yeah.
We'll try to.
Sorry, I was just saying, I just went and looked on Twitter there to see that shirt. That's incredible. Look at the condition of the badge. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I know. It's still in pretty decent nick for
30 years old. I've seen from a house clearance or something. I don't think someone's only giving that up. Like,
no, not for £5. Do you know what I mean? Definitely not. But yeah, he's doing quite well. So yeah, like I say, make sure you check him out at GK Sean on the Twitter. But yeah, Ryan, it's brilliant to have you again, mate. I'm looking forward to this episode. So what should we do? Should we get our guests on and then we can find out a bit more about them? Let's do it. So our seller this week is I'm sure it's him and two other guys, I think it is. I've bought about 4 shirts off him. He may notice the shirt I'm wearing and the shirt behind me are both shirts that I've purchased from him. That was on purpose because I knew he was coming on the show. Especially this one, as it's obviously one of my favourite shirts of all time. It's Dan from Djm Kits.
How you doing, guys? Aye, not bad.
Okay.
I did notice the shirt straight away. It was just, don't worry. That didn't go unnoticed, mate. Class.
Yeah, mate. I was thinking before, I was like, what shirt should I have on? What shirt should I wear? I went, actually, I bought shirts from him. Like, it makes sense that I would wear the shirts and have the shirt up there that you've obviously helped me source. So, yeah, it's good to have you on, mate. Obviously, we said before backstage, I wasn't around when you came on Full Kit Rankers. I was Shrek the Musical, as it's been mentioned many times on the channel before. That's what I was unfortunately watching. But no, it's good to have you on, mate. It's good to have you to speak on about your passion for selling football shirts, maybe even collecting as well a little bit. So, yeah, it's good to have you on, mate. I hope you're well. I hope everything's going well for yourself.
Aye, not bad.
Brilliant.
Not bad.
Great stuff. Okay, and our collector this week, this is the person that's been in the DMs quite a lot, shall we say. He's like keen to get on, and I can see why with the collection of shirts that he has to offer. I'm sure he said it was over 200 shirts that he had. So I'm interested to find out all about them. It is Jamesy, aka Casa de Calcio. Good evening, James. You all right? Or James, should I say?
Yeah, good, mate. Good to be on. Thanks for having me. Been in the DMs, but yeah, had to finally get on.
Yeah, well, that's it, mate. It's a shame it's only once a month, and obviously, like sometimes, people are in the queue, but obviously, because I knew you were so keen, I thought, you know what, let's bump him up.
And no one else to do a Friday.
Well, no, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that, mate. Not at all. That's not me saying that. But it's good to have you on, mate. I'm happy you're here, and I'm looking forward to finding out more about your collection.
Cool.
Great stuff. So, as we did in the last episode, how we start off is I've got a question for you. I'll ask both of you, and the one that gets closest to the correct answer, we will ask you first in terms of the questions that we've got. So, the question is, what I want to know is, Bayern Munich were the highest selling club for football shirts. So they sold the most shirts in 2021. And what I would like for you to both guess is how many shirts they sold last year. I will give you, obviously, I'll give you a ballpark because I'm not going to just obviously ask you to guess. But obviously, the closest will win. It's in the low millions. I'll say that. So between 1 and 5, I'll make it even easier. Between 1 and 5 million. So yeah, we'll come to you first, Dan. How many shirts do you think Bayern Munich sold last year?
3.5 million.
So 3.5.
Aye.
Yeah,
possibly. I'm not certain at all, but
James, have you got a guess?
I'm going to play the game and go 3.51.
3.51.
I'm going to gamble on that.
Why not? Ryan, just to play along, would you guess?
2.3.
2.3. Okay. So I can tell you that Dan, you are the winner simply because Jamesy went high instead of low. It's actually 3.25 million shirts that Bayern Munich sold. Unlucky, Jamesy. You gambled. Unfortunately, it didn't go your way, mate. Unfortunately. So that means we'll start with you, Dan, in terms of the questions. Anyone in the comment? Oh, before we start, obviously, if it's your first time talking kit, do make sure that you are liking the video, subscribing to the channel as it is absolutely free, and just share it with your kit loving friends. Also, we are steadily growing, but every little helps, as Tesco once said to everyone. So, if anyone's got in the comments has got any questions you'd like to ask the guys, I'm happy to throw them in as well. But we do, like we say, me and Ryan do have some, so we will crack on. But if you've got any, jump in the comments and I will get them involved if they're obviously relevant and can be broadcasted, of course. Okay, Dan, so are you ready for your questions? Yeah?
Go for it, mate.
Awesome. So number one, straight away, pretty simple. So what was the spark or what made you want to get involved in being a shirt seller or selling football shirts to people?
it's a weird one because I couldn't actually pinpoint the exact moment when I thought, you know what, it's going to start selling. Because it's just, as you said at the start, there is 3 of us. It's myself, Jamie and Mark that sort this out. And the 3 of us have been unknowingly collecting for years. See, like from our wee guys turning up to like training and 5s and stuff like that. Be like mad Cyprus shots and see just random stuff. Things like that. So it was a good few years ago I decided to, it's like, right, I maybe should start trimming this down. So I started selling stuff on eBay kind of thing. Then I think lockdown was probably the biggest one. See, boredom, nothing to do. I think that's quite a lot of folk would maybe agree with me in that one. And just decided to go for there. So we did, just started off with a Depop page, and we've got the website and stuff, and it's kind of kept us going through lockdown, and it's just kind of carried on. It's a great hobby.
Get a big. So you got your own website now, haven't you, and stuff like that?
Aye, got the website now.
Is it Djm Football Kits? Is it?
Aye, Djm Football Kits. Yeah.
Aye. So how do you find going from sort of Depop and eBay to then having your own site? What's the sort of difference? And it a lot easier, or
in ways it's Depop's kind of, as we all can, what Depop's like, it can be a bit of, I don't even want to repeat some of the messages I've had for folks sometimes. The site, it's much harder to upload stuff and that. And the site, like Ryan's obviously got his own site. You'll know exactly what it's like. It can be a bit of a nightmare at times, but probably say it's just fancied having the website up, and away we go.
Well, I mean, you said about Depop. I think I lasted a week or two on it, and I was like,
honestly,
these are just mental. So
I could make a whole thread of dodgy messages I've had for folk just because I said no to lowballing prices. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, people lose their minds. You know,
oh God, I'll say one. My mother get called a prostitute in one of the things because I wouldn't accept his lowball offer, mate. No joke.
What to say. I was like,
right, okay, I'm definitely not accepting your offer now, pal. Aye, so
Jesus.
Pretty bad.
It's like I'll insult you, and sure you'll take my money then.
Exactly. Well, see the worst is he actually came back like a week later. Mate, would you do it for like a couple of pound more? Jeez, no, mate, on you go.
Yeah.
I'll leave it to dealing with that.
Crazy.
Aye, so
yeah, Ryan, yeah.
Yeah. So next question, really, I suppose. It might be hard to remember, but I suppose it's maybe the first memorable one, but the first shirt that you ever sold, or maybe the first one where it was a bit harder to part with, I suppose, you know, that really registered.
Part with, I think the one, I actually had to think about this the other day, but I couldn't tell you what the eBay one was. Like, I think it was in eBay years ago I sold my first shirt, but like, it was on Depop, it was and it's annoyed me to this day, it was like a QPR training shirt, like a zip top. And I had a number 5 on it, see, like Nike, and I just kind of thought, no, it sold it, because I didn't know anything about stuff back then, and I thought to myself, that could have been player issue, and I've just gave that away for like £20. Number 5, and I'm thinking, who was it QPR? It was number 5. I was like, was it Clint Hill? Hopefully no, because I love big Clint Hill, but I think that's the first ever thing that I sold on Depop.
It could have been Rio Ferdinand, couldn't it? He had 5 at QPR.
I didn't have I
think it might have been Umbro then, or the Nike then. I'm trying to remember.
I think
it was the Nike when they first came up to the Predator.
It might have been, yeah.
Just thinking.
Not to rub salt in or nothing, you know, and say it was big Rio, like, but I mean.
There we go. Probably guys sitting at home laughing right now, but
wearing it everywhere.
So other than that one, is there another shirt that you really regret selling? Sort of, you wish I was kind of I should have kept hold of that. That's a bit of a mistake, letting that one go.
Aye, there was. It's no, I didn't so much sell this shirt, but it's a shirt that it haunts me to this day. Like, I bought this when I was maybe like 17 at a JD Sports. I think it was still JJB back then. I can't remember. It would have been JJB, sorry. And it was see the PSG away, a third, see, like the Louis Vuitton type.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? And I think I got it for like 15 quid. Back then, wore it 5s all the time, and it's just been, I couldn't tell you where it went or where I left it. It's just gone. I think it's worth like £200 or something now.
Yeah,
Something like that's quite a collector's item. So that's probably that one. But selling wise, I'm quite happy to see them go because it's less headache. I don't get moaned at too much for the missus for having it about, so it saves a bit of headache that way.
I can't believe that shirt is so sought after. I can't stand it. I hate it.
It's a nice shirt. Like, I would wear it, but I wouldn't be parting with.
You wouldn't pay £200 for it,
no.
Not for it. And it was voted like the best shirt that year, I think. But I don't remember seeing it. I was on another podcast. Shout out to the team of our live guys, and because we went on there, their podcast is about the 2000s, so that shirt was brought up. I was like, no, I just don't get it. I just don't get the fascination. Same with the Leon Poco one. Don't get it. Don't get the fascination with him. Yeah, it's not for me. Not for me. Although, shout out to Zeke. Obviously, that picture he took on the beach. I don't know if you've ever seen it. That shirt. Outstanding shirt. Outstanding picture. Makes that shirt look nice. Almost to the point where I'd wear it. But, yeah, it's not for me. It's not for me.
It's funny just with the question, just laughing tears Lee's hand because we're sort of answering them as we're going anyway. But so as much as that was a shirt that you didn't want to part with as such, is there one? I suppose to slightly tweak it, is there one that you like getting in because you know, well, that's going to sell and that's going to get a lot of traffic, online? Because we were going to say there, what's the favourite one you sold, but that was basically the PSG shirt, wasn't it? So,
probably, but I think one that I really suppose kind of going back in that a wee bit, like I liked it when I bought it in and stuff like that to sell, and I was like, that's a nice shot. That probably will go straight away. It was Germany '94 away sort of thing, and when I pulled it out to package it up, I was like just kind of stared at it for 5 seconds. But not just package it out of sight, out of mind, get it. I do it. But no, I think bringing shots in that I know are going to probably sell. This one, for instance, see the PS.
Yeah.
Sorry,
2010.
Aye, 10-11 away. Aye.
Yeah.
I like getting them in. So I do. Bought one for myself, then bought a few more. So.
Nice.
Yeah, no, you get research they got. Just it's funny, just with selling it. I would never have thought of before selling. I just quite liked them, but when they come in and you maybe have one, as you mentioned there, so you're like, well, I've ticked the box for myself.
Because there's such a maybe like back then, but when you join the kit community, you don't realise how popular they are. You're part of it.
So.
Definitely. Is there any sort of shirts you get asked for the most? Do people slide in your DMs, for instance, and like, can you get me this? Can you get me that?
Nothing exciting, to be honest. I was trying to think. There's been no like, I don't know, Azerbaijan 4th Division shirts or anything like that asked for, but like, it's just been all your. It's mostly like your Barca's, your PSGs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so there's nothing really exciting. I wish I had a more exciting answer for you, mate. There, but I don't.
I mean,
it's pretty bland.
People want the popular teams, don't they? Really, the ones that sell the best, I guess. They're the ones people are chasing. Let us know though when you get that Azerbaijan 4th division.
I will. I'll make a whole thing about it. So
that'll be interesting for sure.
I suppose then, is there any shirts like? I mean, we just mentioned there about the QPR one but you didn't realise then about the value of it. You ever got one in where? I suppose, as you mentioned, they're making a big deal about the Azerbaijan team for a laugh. Is there ever one that you put on Twitter that gets such a big reaction? Like, you just didn't anticipate it. I'll just put this up here because it's for sale, routine, and then it gets a big reaction to it.
I don't know about big reaction, but there's been a few quick reactions. Like, when I've been sticking stuff on the website and stuff like that, it's maybe like within 10 minutes. It's usually Parma. I found that in Parma quite a few times. As soon as you stick, whether it's 90s or early 2000s, straight away, gone. Probably say Parma with that one.
Yeah, I would agree with
that.
With myself. The Parma stuff, I don't know if you found this, just to touch on that, like, I get some shirts in, or maybe get sent the photos by the wholesalers beforehand, and you're like, oh, I can't wait for that to come in. Parma would be that, but it took me to get them in to know that reaction type thing.
Yeah.
But they tend to even sell when there's like the likes of size small or even smaller again. Whereas in some other ones, this doesn't matter how nice it is. If it's a size small, it just doesn't seem to go. It's kind of weird that way. But the Parma's pretty much a guarantee. Like, it's not something with Mick.
Especially the champion stuff. I feel like just
yeah.
full of it.
Do you guys find Serie A as the best to get in because they're more likely to get sold straight away just because people have not romanticized them shirts and that league in general? Because obviously, I think we spoke on the last episode, Ryan, about how the most sought after kits, probably the best kits in football history.
Well, they're certainly up there. Like, I mean, Daniel probably either agree or maybe thinking maybe some of the Bundesliga ones from the 90s are always mint as well, or some of the Spanish team ones actually, maybe outside of Barcelona, for example, but some of their ones are kind of underrated because they have that mad designs like the purple Real Madrid or the Kelme ones. Some of the Kappa, like the Real Betis ones, I think Valencia, if I'm not mistaken, as well, had some the same template as the Juve ones, But I mean, if you're having to pick one, I think you're right, Aaron. I think it is the Serie A ones tend to be just that wee touch more.
I think it's nostalgia as well, see like it's been on Channel 4 and stuff like that in the 90s. And
very much so.
Definitely.
Yeah. Jamesy, I'll bring you in on this one, not to leave you out. Obviously, you said you've collected a lot of Serie A shirts. Would you agree with that? Would you say that league kind of has the sort of the best kits or the best sort of sought after romanticized kits in history?
Yeah, I think the boys have got it spot on there. I think it is that nostalgia, and it's an age where I'm 41 now, so some of my age remembers Gazzetta Football Italia, remembers Batistuta and players like that, and I think that plays into it. But maybe people have more disposable income when they get to sort of my age to look for that elusive shirt. So I think that's certainly an element. There's definitely ones like the old school Cremonese shirts, Pescara from the early 90s. Some of those are, they're Grail shirts. If they came up, I don't collect Serie A particularly now, but if that happened to come up, it would certainly pique my interest. And I think a lot of other people, you look back and it was probably Casa going to Lazio and the whole Football Italia thing. I think that's a huge element to it. And it was almost seen as Italian football's boring. But then once Gazzetta Football Italia came on, people realised it wasn't as defensive as their preconceived ideas were. And I think one of the first games was, I think, 5-3 or 7-3 or something like that. So the notion that it was boring and it was different, and obviously now travel and things like that, it's easier to get to Italy. People can go. But I think it is that sort of those halcyon, maybe 3 or 4 years when Gaza was there and things like that it really would buy into. So I'd 100% agree with that. I think for me, if I was going to collect anything, it would be, in terms of European, it would be Italian shirts. From that era, say, probably 85 to 2000 would be for me.
They were good, very good period of shirts. I always remember I was quite young when it was on, but I remember Sundays watching Football Italia, and whenever I think of it, it's gonna sound weird. I always think of cabbage because I always remember being at the Grand's while she was doing the Sunday dinner, putting cabbage on. I remember just one of them things, the smell of cabbage, and it's Football Italia like that for me.
Who knew?
Well, walk past some cabbage and there's James Richardson in my mind all the time. You know what I mean?
Sitting on a busy street with the pink paper and the cappuccino.
Nice little espresso on Roma Street. Yeah, great stuff.
We need to find a picture of James Richardson holding a cabbage now, don't we? Surely that's out there. That's got to be out there.
In my wallet, instead of a picture of my daughter, I've got James Richardson and a cabbage. Oh, look at it. It's absolutely stunning. Brilliant. Okay, next question. Dan, so have you got a list of sort of, say, top 3 here, but it could be as many as you want. Is there any shirts you would love to get hold of, like specific shirts to sell that you just like? Not that you think they'd get a lot of money or whatever, you just think they're something you're
cool,
looking forward to, something cool to have, to own, and then to sell on.
Going back in it a wee bit, probably Gaza. Whether it was Rangers, Lazio, probably in Everton, editing, just having a Gaza shirt, match worn, if I'm being unrealistic about it. But decent. it's not really it's something I tap into too much as a match worn stuff. But probably any Rangers match worn as well. Obviously, being a Rangers fan, that would be quite cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think
stick on there.
We've seen recently how the match worn could be a bit dangerous. If you I listened that obviously really heartbreaking story there and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, Gaza obviously evoked a lot of memories for a lot of not just England fans. I think even someone he's never played for a club I supported, but I mean he's just that much of an iconic person. Having anything that he's worn. I think Ellis got a training top, didn't he? I think an England training top. I think I saw.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you had that in the video.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, anything else you can think of you'd like to get?
Can't really think, to be honest, mate. Just any Rangers, probably any Rangers Europa League final, like Europa League final, UEFA Cup, and the Cup Winners' Cup. Any one of the three, any top, whether it was bench worn, it's fine. I've been even getting my hands on that, But
I was just going to say there was a guy in the shop today I was chatting to, local fella, and he's a pretty big Rangers fan. He has one of the, when he's done the 9 in a row, that shirt, but they had 9 signed shirts by the whole team, I think, at the time. When they hit the 9 in a row, there was 9 shirts done, and they're all signed like silver or whatever, and he showed me the photos of it today. I didn't even know they existed, I didn't realise, but it's just 9 of this shirt, with obviously the stripes on the side, that famous shirt, like, all the signatures and stuff through it, like, but there's only 9 of them exist. So he actually got it off some dude on Twitter just before it went viral, I guess, like locally viral. He managed to grab it, like, but didn't even know that they existed, like.
That's cool. Just speaking about the Europa League, Dan. You actually wore a special kit for that, didn't you, Rangers? Didn't you have a special sponsor as well?
I was a sponsor, aye. Yeah.
So if you got one of them, that's even more sort of
class. Aye.
Isn't it?
Any player.
So won't bother you that you lost. Won't bother you no.
Nah, I'm over it now, mate. It's been a wee while yet, so
I know the pain about losing the Europa final, mate. Yeah, I know the pain.
Yeah.
All
right, brilliant. Ryan,
so,
next question.
Yeah, just sort of flipping to the back of shirts now, the name sets, because as we mentioned, there's name sets that stand out, I suppose, especially in the early 90s and stuff. Some of them without the names, just the numbers, like the Casa ones, for example, at Lazio. But is there 5, if you had to do a 5-a-side team, is there 5 name sets that you would pick?
It's quite a random one. It's like tops I have in my collection. Do you mean?
Well, you could go with tops if you want to do that.
It's interesting because in goals is Loris Karius. Don't ask me why, but I've got a Mainz goalkeeper shirt with Loris Karius on it. So
at least it's not Liverpool, mate.
We're off to a good start. Probably at the back, big Jean-Alain Boumsong, a Rangers shirt. I can't think of any other centre half that I have, but it's not a bad play to have in there, mate.
No.
That's 2. Steve Davis, middle of the park. Can't beat him. No. And have to go with up top. We'll stick Raul and Messi.
Oh yeah,
it's quite frightening.
That's a pretty
Raul Rangers, yeah.
Raul, no, Raul.
Is it a Rangers shirt?
No, Raul, Real Madrid.
Oh yeah. Number 7.
Aye.
Is that a Real Madrid shirt? Yeah.
Aye, sorry, aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
And Messi Barcelona, I'm guessing as well.
Aye, of course. Aye. It's just as long as Davis can hold it in the middle of the park and doesn't let any shots in, then we're sound, mate. We'll win.
I think a 5-a-side at the back would be enough the size of him.
I know, mate. And he can play a bit as well, so there's always that.
That's a decent 5-a-side team, mate. Hopefully, you don't have to get to the keeper. The rest of the team can keep it between them. So Karius isn't taking any shots, especially if the other team's got Bale on and that. I think.
I know. We've been knackered. We've been done.
That's decent. Have you had the shirt in, mate, that you got in and thought, it's all right, and then it couldn't have gone out quick enough, and you got a decent price for it, anything like that you can think of?
I think probably, as I said earlier on, the Parma shirts.
Yeah.
I think I probably go with that. I think it was a champion, the champion with the doing the sleeves.
Oh yeah,
I think it's 2000, 2001 maybe.
Right.
Straight away it was gone. Aye.
Yeah, good shirt.
Probably that one. I didn't, like I said, I wasn't thinking much of it. I was like, well, that'll be a nice wee addition to the website, but gone. So it was fairly decent price.
nice.
And is there any see if like even say current shirts, even the last year or two, because we're talking about that PSG one, no one expected that to go the way it did, and everyone's paying mad money for them. Is there any shirts you can say from the last season that you've thought once that sells out, like people are going to go nuts for that? You know, that's going to be one that's going to be sought after, even if it's say a Rangers one or whatever it may be.
I think maybe in the future the Rangers home, obviously, because I think a lot of people will buy it, obviously, because we made the final and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people buy shirts just because of what happened that season. You know, it's like the 07-08, that's loads of people are after that one because obviously we made it was a UEFA Cup final that year. But in the last year, I can't really think, to be honest. One shirt I think that will be quite popular in the future, like a classic, is see the new Ajax away.
Yeah.
I think that's going to have a future classic.
So that nod to the is it late 80s, early 90s away shirt in it on the collar, the blue and blue and white and red, which got panned on Full Kit Rankers, as you remember, Ryan.
Yeah,
the original.
Right.
I think that's going to be a great shirt. I was listening to the Kit Mad podcast. A shout out to the Kit Mad guys. They were saying their shirts for the season on their review, and they seem to think the Real Madrid home shirt might go down as a bit of a classic just because of their exploits in the Champions League and stuff like that. And I think that sort of subtle nod to
color, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, the blue and orange works quite well. They seem to think. Which I'm not a Real Madrid fan by any stretch, but yeah, I think it's a decent shirt, and obviously not expected to win the Champions League. Obviously done the league as well to complete that double, so that's one that I think could go down. Ryan, you got any that you think might be?
Well, I was going to say the Liverpool. Was it the away or the third with the collar last season, the cream one?
Cream one, yeah.
Like, it pains me to say it, but it's such a shirt. It's a beautiful shirt, you know. Like the Roma one from before, everyone's looking at the cream Roma one with the burgundy collar, you know. They just nailed that design, you know. It's a shame. I don't know if they're going to use it for this coming year. It doesn't look like it. And they look at the likes of that Chelsea shirt and stuff that Nike have released, you know. It's we're talking about keeping shirts for 2 years, and I think they're the only company where people were going, please don't. Their stuff is not great, like at the minute, you know. So, but that Liverpool one is the exception. Like it's a fantastic shirt, and as I say, the last two Roma ones, the collars, the navy one and the cream one, I think are going to be future classics.
Yeah, definitely. Jamesy, we'll bring you on that. Is there any shirt you can think of last season, you think might be down the line something that's massively sought after?
Yeah, tough one to call. Obviously, I agree with Dan in terms of like what's happened within a season. I think that makes sometimes things a future classic. We're certainly seeing that in Wales. The fact that Wales have qualified for the World Cup. Even going back now, shirts that would be sort of £10-15 2-3 years ago, and now 30 on eBay simply because they're Wales shirts. Nothing that massively like jumps out at me. I think maybe the Real Madrid. I think you'd probably be right on that one. And obviously a lot of it depends on what sort of season teams have had. Maybe, sorry Dan, but maybe Celtic winning the league.
Yeah, you had to go there, didn't you?
But yeah, I think so much of it is linked to successful seasons, campaigns. I'm just interested in what you said about the Parma shirts, to be honest, because I don't know whether is it possible that because Nakata played for them, it's a Japanese market buying that? I'm not sure.
It can be trying to cut in Adriano, and there was that team that they couldn't afford. Do you remember? They basically just swindled money as long as they could get away with it to get the players in.
Yeah, pretty much.
His oil company or his olive oil company, I think it was, and then it just
Parmalat, and Cheerio,
Parmalat. Cool. All right, then. Yeah, so there's the questions for you, Dan. Hope they weren't too bad, and you answered them quite well, mate. So don't seem they were too tricky. We'll move on to you then, Jamesy. We've got some questions for you, mate. But let's start by asking, because I know you've got a very specific collection. So let's tell everyone what it is about your shirt collection that you've got.
I collect Welsh club shirts, but clubs that play in the Welsh pyramid system. It sounds bizarre, admittedly, but it's one of those things that it got to a point worrying about authenticity, worrying about match-worn shirts. I wasn't bothered. So I thought, well, I live in Wales, born in Wales, support a Welsh Premier League club. Why not collect Welsh club shirts from using all the way down through the pyramid? And
Brilliant.
yeah, it's one of those things that I think every shirt tells a story. So I'm never too bothered about condition too much. I found that in the past I've always been worried about a bobble somewhere or a mark or something like the authenticity. If I'm buying, hypothetically, I collected, well, not hypothetically, but I collected Fiorentina shirts, and there's always that fear that, especially at the moment, it's getting made in China, and you're always doubting yourself, and you're paying big money. I noticed Ellis Platten searching for the elusive Super Mario shirt and paying, I think it was £500 for it, and then it turned out not to be real. That's the fear I've got. So for me, it's more about safeguarding, and not a lot of people. I don't think a few of my mates do now, but not many people collect what I collect. So the prices are lower. And I go to a lot of grounds in Wales anyway, so quite often I'll pick shirts up for pennies sometimes, or people give me shirts for nothing, or I'll make a donation to the charity that the club supports. So yeah, I think I'm on about between 200 and 250 Welsh club shirts.
That's fantastic.
But it's been a long journey through other collections and buying stuff and holidays and things like that. So yeah, it's been a long road, but I'm pretty happy with where I am at the moment. I think that fear for me is that's the one thing that having kids and cost of living and all the rest of it, that I've got a collection I'm proud of without worrying about is that Pentra away shirt genuine? I know it is because it's
it's not going to
club. Yeah. No, that's really cool, mate. It's very specific, but yeah, I couldn't imagine some of the shirts you've got, so it'd be nice. Do you have them on display anywhere? Like, have you got pictures on social media? People can check them out and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, I can certainly post them up on social media this evening.
I think you should, mate. I think you should.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think people would love the backstory of it too. You know, just as you mentioned there, no one's going to match that collection. You know, on a grand scale anyway. You know.
Yeah. I think what's really good at the moment. Yeah, I think what's good at the moment in Wales is there's two companies, Djm Sports and Tour Sports, who are doing some really good designs. I think there's the Lazio Eagle shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I've got Holyhead Hotspur, Holyhead Town shirt, I think it is. Instead of an eagle in the middle, it's got a ferry.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that shirt actually. Now that you mentioned that, yeah, someone had that. I think it might have been that on Twitter.
Yeah. So there's quite a few companies now, I think, in Wales that are, rather than, obviously we're a small country and the league is what it is, and there's a lot of template shirts, which is annoying. But I think clubs that go bespoke and go the extra mile, get traction on social media. You look at Rogerstone, who are sponsored by Tiny Rebel Brewery, made by Tour Sport. It's that sort of, I think it's for clubs in Wales, it's more important to try and build up a cult following, as opposed to just going with a Macron or Joma template that they're offered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, that's really cool, mate. So if we start right from the beginning, can you remember the first shirt you ever owned, or maybe the first shirt that sort of sticks in the mind more than any other?
I can remember it very well. I think Ryan's going to appreciate this. 1986, Man United boxed kit. So it was a full kit.
Oh yeah.
You opened it out, and there was the shorts, socks, and the shirt in a box. I think it was $12.95 at the time.
Incredible.
Everyone I knew supported Liverpool. So it was their golden period.
Oh,
My dad was a Man United fan. I wanted a Liverpool kit for my birthday. I opened it up. It was a United kit. And years later, my dad said, I would never have allowed you to own a Liverpool kit. They told me it was sold out when I was 6. It was like so yeah, that's the first kit I ever owned. Loads through the years. I think it's that I've always, wherever I've gone, I think when we've been on family holidays and things like that, we've looked for sports shops or the local ground and things like that. And I think a lot of kit collectors probably would chime in with that, in the sense that wherever you go, you're always on the lookout. But bear in mind, we'd go to Brittany in 1988, and it was literally an Intersport in the town centre, and they just sold standard, weren't even replica shirts. It would just be, your standard Adidas templates for clubs.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's changed now massively with the internet. But that's what I remember. I remember my dad going into sports shops in far-flung places in Brittany asking for a chemise de foot. Well, a chemise is actually a dress shirt, not a football shirt. He took it as a literal translation. So, you clueless looks from sports shop owners. But yeah, it was barren, to say the least. But yeah, after that, things improved, and obviously at the time, companies started realizing. I think England were probably the forerunners of replica shirts, and the Man United mega store in the early 90s and all that.
Yeah.
Clubs started realizing that there's money to be made, and people will buy them. But
Wasn't it Middlesbrough had the first club shop? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt there, James. Was it Middlesbrough had the first? Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm being stupid. I think they had the first TV channel. I was trying to remember the first one that had made that sort of jump with a club shop. Just where you mentioned that, it bounced into my head there. But
yeah, I think I remember ordering the Cup Winners' Cup, the white Cup Winners' Cup shirt that was reduced to $14.95 from the Man United mega store.
To give you an idea, I have one of them for sale in the shop at the minute. I don't mean it as a plug, but I'm just saying, and it costs me a lot more than that to get in, than it is to sell, sort of thing, So
yeah, I would say that's up there in my top 5 favourite shirts, because it represents a time. I supported United. They've hadn't won very much. Obviously won the cup the year before to get in the cup. And then following that, unrivaled success. But yeah, I've had some odd ones. Neuchâtel Xamax, used to go on holiday to Switzerland quite a lot. Match worn FC Ville shirts. I got off a player. Signed Robert Prozinecki Croatia shirt. But they've all just been sold. It's one of those things that life catches up with you, and you end up having kids.
Yeah.
And the money's good enough, but I think these days it's not for me. I'm probably a Twitter kit voyeur more than anything else. I like seeing what other people have got. I like seeing what is coming into shops. There's a few bits Ryan's put up that I tempted to pull the trigger on. A few Fiorentina bits where maybe. But yeah, that's, at the moment, I think if my wife saw me spending that sort of money, then yeah, wouldn't be lasting too much longer.
Yeah. I used to work with a guy that used to have to hide. He used to buy shirts and he had to hide them. And his wife was chucking out new shirts, brand new with tags, because she was just sick of. He'd not told her. She found them. She's just chucking them out. It's like, you need to get a divorce, mate. What the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? Absolutely.
You can't send to work and keep it at work. You know what? I mean, I do that. Obviously, I do that, but I can just say it's for work.
Keep them in your boot. What's wrong with you? Just hide them away. Find some. Get a storage. Get lock up or something and put them all in there. Jesus Christ, lad. Yeah. Ryan, yeah, any questions?
Yeah, well, normally we would say you've already told us roughly what your numbers is between 2 and 250, wasn't it, for your collection? So,
Yeah.
was there any sort of shirt that obviously you appreciated shirts when you were younger, as you mentioned, but was there any one shirt that just made you start to go, right, I'm going to, like, for example, you mentioned the best teams through the pyramid. Was there one shirt that sort of in particular made you go, right, I need to tick all the boxes here, I'm going to work my way through this pyramid? Or was it more, as you mentioned there, because they're safer to collect and they're a bit cheaper to collect as well? Was there one shirt that caused that, or was it just a general realization?
Yeah, it was. I think I was traveling around Wales a lot watching football, but I went to the new Saints TNS, and they were selling old match-worn shirts for, I think it was £5. I picked up a long sleeve one. It was the first Welsh one I picked up, probably about 6 years ago now. I've always loved shirts. I love the backstory and the history and what they represent to people. But I think that was the one where I thought, well, I'm going to enough grounds here. And there's enough shirts available for sale. So I bought that one, and then I know the kit man at Cardiff Met, the team I support, quite well. So he's helped me out with some of the players as well, giving me their old shirts. It just kind of grew from there. And the fact that quite often if I'm going to a new ground in Wales, I'll DM them on Twitter, ask if they got any old shirts. And that's kind of how it's grown. The 12th man auctions as well have been useful. I don't know if you know what them. They basically collected over lockdown, I think, hundreds of Welsh club shirts, and they auction them off 3-4 times a week. So I've got quite a few off there. eBay sometimes. If you know your Welsh spellings, you might get decent deals there. Yeah, it's I don't Grail shirts in Wales. I'm not so sure. There are certain shirts I'd like to get hold of. There's a few that are based on, I'd say, loosely on overseas shirts. There's Brecon Corries is like an inverted Sampdoria Joma shirt. It's quite nice. Welsh Pool is similar to Boa Vista. So there are companies that are doing that sort of thing. But yeah, I kind of fall into it, and some of my mates now collect Welsh stuff as well. Much to my annoyance, because it drives prices up, obviously. But, but yeah, it is what it is, and yeah, long may it continue, I think. And I think Welsh clubs, because naturally they're small, they need to think outside the box. They need to come up with better marketing and better shirts. Like I say, Tour Sports have been instrumental in that. T-Jack Sports as well. So yeah, it's heading in the right direction, I think. Hopefully.
It's good news, mate. Good news. Was there any particular moment you can think back to where you looked at your collection, you're thinking, yeah, this might be a bit of an obsession now. Bit of definitely more than just a hobby.
I think it's probably the same with everyone. You don't really class it as a collection. Maybe it's just an accumulation of stuff, and then before you know it, someone says, "That's quite a collection you've got." You don't really. I collect programs as well and things like that. So, at what point do you deem it a collection? I guess 20, 50. At what point do you deem it an obsession? 200, 300, 400? I don't know.
It's when you won't part with any and you look to create more space, like not a space up. You know, it's
probably when your wife goes, just put all your crap in there. That's fine.
Yeah,
maybe that. Yeah.
Or you start a YouTube channel around football kits.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Ryan, open a shop. That's probably the biggest one.
yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I just enjoy it, and you meet people, and you meet guys like you who've got a lot more knowledge than I have in terms of domestic shirts and everything else.
I'm winging it. I get the professionals to talk about it. I just
if you are winging it, you're doing a very good job of winging it.
Oh, I appreciate that, mate. That's very nice. Very nice to say.
But yeah, it's like over the years I've collected bits and pieces, and eBay. I remember the days you could pick up the infamous Fiorentina swastika shirt. I think I bought it for $39.99 on eBay in the mid 2000s.
Oh, yeah.
I sold it for over 100 and thought I was doing well, and now I wish I'd hung on to it. So it's that sort of thing. I think probably my best ever would be a yellow Wales Hummel shirt from '87 from a charity shop in Whitchurch in Cardiff for £1.
Nice.
That's incredible.
With I think it was a number 12 on the back, and I bought it for £1. Sold it for 157.
Wow.
I thought I was doing amazingly, but that for me would be the one shirt that I wish I'd kept hold of. It is so rare. I think it was only worn once or twice. It's got to be a player's shirt. It had to be a player's shirt. Subliminated number into the back. Oh, breaks me, that one. Breaks me.
And would there be, so what are the collections? Suppose that's, one that you've parted with, you don't want to part with necessarily looking back, but are there the ones that you have at the minute? Is there a favourite? Is there, does it change, or is there one that just can't be topped?
The favourite have to be my match issue Cardiff Met against Progress Niederkorn shirt. I was given by the club. Progress Niederkorn, a Luxembourg club. That'll know about Progress Niederkorn, won't you, Dan?
Yeah, don't get me started. I hate to see that game you're talking about, though. I think the next round was against... No, they put us at a Europe one year. I think we'll forget about that. See the game you're talking about? I'm pretty sure it was the next round. We got them again. Then we beat them.
Yeah, you did, yeah. So I think if we'd have beaten Progress, we'd have played Cork and then played you.
Aye, something like that. So it was like a slaying of a ghost, that game. But
yeah.
Awful.
So that'll be the shirt that means the most to me personally, in terms of support. A lot of my shirts, I've got Cardiff City shirts and Wales shirts going back years, but I think they're the ones that mean the most, being involved in the club. I think that would be the one, yeah.
Cool. Did you have a shirt that you got in, you absolutely loved it, and then a little bit time passes and you're like, actually, I'm not too keen on this now, and then maybe got rid of it, or you may still have it? Any shirt that springs to mind in regards to that?
I think I do it a lot, especially if I go away. I'll buy a shirt and love it, and then a few months later I'll sell it. I think I get caught up in the time and the place. So I went to Italy a few months ago. I was looking into Milan shirts. But I had to say to myself, I'm going to buy this and I'll sell it 3 months later. Stop buying shirts that you don't need.
Don't do that.
A few things on the kit community, comes up on the kit community. Napoli shirts on Amazon for £22. I'll buy them. I'm like, what? I bought it. I like the shirt, but I bought it. I don't know why. Because it's Napoli and it's cheap. It's kind of cult. So I'm trying to get out of the habit of seeing things cheap and buying them. Because I just make some money on them. If I sell them on eBay, they go for roughly the same as I pay for them. But yeah, I don't know. There's a few that. There's a few Italian ones. I think early '90s. If Ryan got them into his shop, I'd have to have a serious think about whether it's. Yeah, definitely that era. I think. If you happen to get a Cremonese 93, 94 Old Sport, Ryan, in a large.
Great shirt. It's a very, very nice.
All the away.
I got a funny. I was talking to Djm Nostalgia earlier today because I have he's big into the ABM shirts.
Oh yeah,
obsessed with them. And I got a what was it? Shadow shirt, but we were both trying to figure out the year, and I was kind of hoping he would know because there's nothing to work off really. You know, you would need literature to go through it, but we reckon it's like early 90s or whatever. But well, you know, because Palermo had it then, and they had a bit more coverage, I suppose. You know, but like it's just a complete mystery. You know what I mean? They just don't know for sure. And just you mentioned that there about Cremonese, you know, apart from one or two shirts like that, they're kind of a bit of a mystery as well. To be fair, we're trying to trace the exact years. I'm sure you know you've had that down as well. When you get stuff in, you're like, "What am I listening to?" I have to clue.
Dan, quickly, we'll ask you that question as well. So, is there any shirt you've had, you've come in, loved it, and then as time passed, you're like, actually, no. Private rather than selling? Or?
Probably most of my personal collection, to be honest, mate. I just see something at a decent price and I'll go, right, yoink, that's mine. Then by the time it comes, I'll probably not own it, sell it on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, quite a lot. I couldn't pinpoint one particular shirt, but probably a good part. I've got Wolves shirts in there, mate. I have no connection to Wolves at all. Do you know what I mean? There's like 2 or 3 Wolves shirts in one collection. I've never lost. I've got the tags on. So, you know how it is. Do you know what I mean?
Is there a shirt then? Like, so you mentioned about Jamesy, you mentioned about eBay and stuff even before getting the Fiorentina band shirt, for example, at a bargain price. But is there any ones that you've missed out on that have just stuck with you? Not to bring up painful memories, like, but bring up painful memories. You know? So, is there any that have stuck with you? You've went, you know, it still grinds you that you missed it.
I think I wouldn't say specific shirts. I would say probably a time period, the early 2000s with eBay. Shirts were going so cheap.
Yeah.
Even you look at classic football shirts now. I bought Cardiff City 1985. I think it was an Admiral shirt off them, and this was where they first started for £80, which now you're looking at treble that. And I wouldn't say it's a particular shirt. I would say it's a particular era, like early eBay, that sort of thing, where it was a buyer's market certainly at that stage. So yeah, that's not a specific shirt, but certainly a time period where you probably could have sorted, if you'd have bought enough, probably sorted your mortgage out, a nice car, and maybe a villa in Spain if you were lucky. But yeah, it was the prices things were going out at the time were just ludicrous. But even then they seemed expensive. But now you look at it, for me, it's all about supply and demand. If someone's willing to pay, say for the white Cup Winners' Cup shirt, the Man United one from 1991, it's worth what people are willing to pay for it. And that's the same with any item, regardless of football shirt, program, whatever. It's down to what people are willing to pay. And if you've got two bidders who really want it and are going to stop at nothing, then it is worth $2,500 if 2 people are willing to go to pay that.
Oh, of course.
It's really difficult to put a figure on. A lot of people say to me, "Oh, how much do you think this is worth?" It's almost impossible to say. You can put something on eBay and it'll go for £18. You can put something else on, you think it'll go for next to nothing, and all of a sudden it's up to 90.
Yeah,
it only takes 2.
That's it. Yeah. It's like I say, shirts hold different memories. People are willing to pay something that means nothing to someone else that means the world to another person. They're happy to pay that price. It's mental, isn't it? It's crazy, really. Yeah. Quickly, we'll ask you. We asked Dan. So, best 5-a-side of name sets. It doesn't have to be ones you've got now. It could be ones previously you've owned. If you could pick one.
Oh, wow, no one will have heard of any of them if they're Welsh players. But
do it anyway. We should have some Welsh people listening. You never know.
I'll go for the ones I've had name sets on in the past. So Prozinecki would be one player.
Yeah.
In the past, Cantona, I've had Brian Robson.
No one ever know of him. What?
just trying to think of. I haven't had any keeper shirts, so.
You can play rush. It's all right. Keeper.
Play rush. Ian Rush or I play Ian Rush. And just trying to think who else. Let's go for who would be. It's not a shirt I've ever owned. Not a name set I've ever had, but I'll have to go for my favourite ever player, Diego Maradona.
Okay. The £8.2 million one, I'm guessing, yeah? The Hand of God shirt.
But that Steve Hodge had. Basically threw in his bag and went, don't tell anyone.
Mad. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Last question for you, Ryan, if you want to ask it.
Yeah, sure. So let's hope this never ever happens. But the house is on fire, or something's coming, and I mean you've only time to lift one shirt. Which one is it? Oh, he's went silent. He can't think. He can't decide.
I thought you were asking Dan, so I was giving Dan the option.
Oh no, sorry, no.
Yeah, we'll come to that. We'll come to that after you, James.
Yeah,
we'll let you keep
sorry, go ahead, Jamesy.
Yeah, it'd probably be my framed Europa League shirt, to be honest, for what it means and for what it meant for the club and stuff like that. Yeah, it would have to be that, I think, definitely.
Which club? Sorry, which club was that again? The framed
Cardiff Met.
Cardiff Met. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Dan, same question for you. Can only pick one shirt to save?
Probably Rangers Fernando Rickson shirt. So I've had it since I was 15. Got it originally printed back then, and I've just kept the hold of it ever since. Obviously, everything that happened to him and stuff like that. So probably go for that one first.
Brilliant.
Great choice.
Great picks there, guys. Yeah, that's it. We're at the end of the show. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for Dan and Jamesy joining us. Been a good conversation. I mean, we could go on forever, but Ryan's got not blaming Ryan, but yeah, let's.
My fault.
I'm only joking. But no, thank you guys. Dan, thanks for coming on, mate, and let us know where people can find you.
You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Djm Football Kits, and obviously check out our website, djmfootballkits.co.uk. Just had a new stock shop as well tonight, so feel free to go and have a look. And we're also, I've just plugged this in there as well, we're going to be at the Scottish Football Programmes and Memorabilia Fair in Dumfries a couple of weeks' time, so if anyone's in the area, feel free to show up. And it's at Palmerston Park, which is Queen of the South Stadium, so a nice wee day out. Feel free to come along, have a look at some shirts.
Yeah, if you're in the area, definitely make sure you go check them out. And if not, make sure you're checking out the website, checking them on socials. I love your drops, mate. The whole artwork for all of them. Very, very easy to read, which is nice when you're looking at shirts as well.
It's because I can't read, mate, so I need to make it easier for myself. So.
James, we'll come to you. Where can people find you? Because you're going to have to start putting these pictures on Twitter, mate. People need to see these shirts. Where can they find you, mate?
Just on my Twitter, mate. Casa del Calcio. Be on there. Yeah, I'll try and get a few more bits uploaded. We'll see.
Make sure you do.
But an absolute pleasure, lads, to be honest. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much for coming on, mate. Ryan, plug your stuff, mate. We know where you are, but plug it anyway. Come on.
So NI Classic Circle. I think it's NI Classic Shirt actually on Twitter because someone nabbed my handle ages ago. It's a dead account, but I can't get it. So NI Classic Shirt on Twitter. But Insta, Facebook, obviously the website, the shop in Ards. Bit of TikTok as well, but it's I don't really understand TikTok. I feel like it's a whole generational thing. It's just beyond me, but I'm trying. And and as well, just Dan, you mentioned that there in Dumfries, it's reminded me. Next Saturday, the first KitCon in Ireland, Island, is happening. So we're down in Dundalk. So we're there on Saturday from 10, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Been tweeting out the links to get tickets and stuff, but there's going to be people doing, talks. There's going to be collectors there showing off their stuff. There's going to be like myself, one of my friends is coming down selling artwork, and obviously I'm bringing shirts and stuff down. There's a load of Irish-based sellers as well, so it'll be a good day out. It'll be a good. Probably the only. I don't know if I say this, but probably the only reason to go to Dundalk. If you're outside of it. But the atmosphere will be good. You'll be like Yeah, like-minded people, you know. So if you can get down to it, more than welcome. You know, it'd be great to see you. So
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be absolutely brilliant, especially for over there, that community and everything like that. That's brilliant that you're branching out and getting your own kit on there. That's some great news. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being part of Talking Kit, everyone. We'll be back with another Get to Know at the end of July. I think we pretty much got the guests sorted now. Me and Ryan will talk about that and we'll release it when we need to. Yeah, other than that, we are going to record a full main Talking Kit podcast this Wednesday, so that'll be out the following Monday. We're getting back on track with that. Some big guests coming up as well, which is going to be amazing. So yeah, keep locked to the channel. Make sure you are subscribing to the channel, like the video, share it, and get involved in any way you can. And we will see you very soon for more Talking Kit features and content. And we'll see you all very, very soon. Take it easy, and we're out of here.